Hello, my friends. I welcome you again in my YouTube channel, Ritu is Academy. Now, I have brought a new video for chapter Motion Class 9, in which we will learn some topics. And the topics are, which we are going to cover in this video, motion, rest, and origin. Then we will learn the difference between distance and displacement, uniform and non-uniform motion, and what do you mean by scalar and vector quantities. So let's start. Now motion and rest, these are not new terms for us, right? They are relative terms. When you will say an object is moving, when you will say an object at rest, when you relate them together, so the object is said to be in motion when you see some change in displacement, when you observe some change in position. So if an object changes its position with respect to time and the surrounding with reference to a reference point, an origin, then you can say object is said to be in motion. Rest, simple. If you are not able to see any motion, if you are not able to check any change in position with respect to time, with respect to surrounding, the object is kept the same point, same position, then you will say the object is at rest. So whenever we say the object is motion or rest, to define, to describe the motion, we have to assign a reference point. The point from with respect to which we are saying the object is at rest or the object it is in motion. That point, that reference point is called origin, from where you are starting. Suppose, let's say, take an example. My phone is kept here. This is my origin. With respect to this origin, I will check, I will observe any object moving with respect to this origin. Is it changing the position or not? If the other object is changing the position with respect to this reference point, this origin point, then you will say the object is in motion. And if with respect to this origin reference point object doesn't change its position, it remain at the same position, then you will say object is at rest. So this is how you can define the definition of motion and rest. The next thing we have distance and displacement. Now distance and displacement, both they sound like same terms. But are they same term? No, they are not. There are some differences between these two terms. So before explaining you what is the difference between these two terms, let's take an example. Like if we say that we are in our room, we have to go and take our book from another room. The distance from our room and another room, say it's 2 meters. So you are going, you are walking by 2 meters, then you are coming back by taking your book. After taking the book in your room, then 2 meters again you have moved. So when you are going 2 meters, when you are coming back, it is again 2 meters. So you will say how much actual path you have covered, how much distance you have covered. That is 4 meters. When you're going 2 meters, when you're coming back 2 meters, 2 plus 2 becomes 4. But what is displacement? Now again see the situation. Displacement in this example will be 0. Why 0? Because by definition, displacement is what? That is the shortest distance, the minimum distance between initial and final position. From where you have started, from your room, from your bed, from your chair. You have gone, but you come back where? Same point. Then you have not displaced because your initial and final positions are same. That's why in this case, the displacement is 0. So now from this example, let's conclude our definition. Distance means how much actual path an object has been covered. While displacement means the distance, the minimum distance, the shortest distance between initial and final position of an object. Like आप पूरी दुनिया घूम कर आ गए हो, but you again आप अपने घर पे आए हो, again you have reached your home. So from where you have started, अपने घर से start किया, पूरी दुनिया घूमने के बाद अब कहाँ वापस आ गए, अपने घर पे आ गए. So in this the whole example, in this whole situation, if you see what is distance, that is 0. Let's see one more example. Can you see the screen over here? I will just take, okay. Can you see over here? This is the line that is A to B. So if an object is moving from this point to B point, so you will say object has covered how much distance? 5 kilometers. What is displacement in this case? It is also 5 kilometers. Why? Because distance is clear, because actually the object has moved 5 kilometers. But why displacement is also 5 kilometers? Because if you want to move from A to B, what is the shortest distance between these 2 points? And that is again it's 5 kilometers only. There is no other shortest distance you will find to move from A to B. That's why. So in this case, we can say distance and displacement are same. But if you say that object is moving from A to B, and then it is, first it is going A to B and then coming back from B to A. So what will happen in this case? If it is going from A to B, how much distance have been covered? Actual path covered 5 kilometers. When coming back from B to A, again it is covering 5 kilometers. So means how much distance? That is 10 kilometers. But from where it has started, A point, where it has reached, again A point. So what is the shortest distance between A and A? 0. So displacement will be 0. Right? Let's move to another topic. Now next is, let's take an example, more example, as we have the same picture here. You can see over here. The same question what I explained you here. If we move from A to B, distance and displacement, if you can check it here, distance and displacement both are same, that is 5 kilometers. But if you are going from A to B and then coming back to A, then the distance will be 10 kilometers, but displacement will be 0 because starting and ending point, both points are same. Because of this reason, we will say that displacement is 0 here. Right? Now you have to think one example here. Thinking time. So pause the video, think of this, and don't forget to share your answer in comment box. Now, in case you are moving along a boundary of rectangle of given dimensions here, you have to find here what is distance and displacement. So let's find out. Now this boy is moving along this rectangular path, that is A, B, C, D. Now we have to find what is the actual distance and displacement here. So if boy moved from A to B, 3, you can say the distance is here, right here. The distance is the actual path covered by the child, you can say by this boy, 5. Now, when it moves from B to C, that is, A to B, that is 3. Then from B to C, it's 5. Then C to D, that is again 3. And D to A, this is 5. So when you do the sum of these four numbers, that will give you 16 meter. This is what? This is your distance. But what is displacement? Now the boy is moving from A to B, B to A, C to D, and finally again it has reached to A point. So again when it is coming to A point, then you will see what is displacement. Initial point is A. Finally it is again he is coming at point A only. So because of that we'll say in this case again we are getting displacement. The displacement again it will be 0 meter. There is a no displacement we are having. Right? I hope now you are just getting your doubts clear between distance and displacement. So you are learning how these are different terms. Let's move. Uniform and non-uniform motion. Now uniform and non-uniform motion, very simple. You have done it also in grade 7. Uniform motion means when you say simple language, you say speed remains same. If speed is same. Non-uniform motion, when speed changes. Like suppose if you're going somewhere and there's a traffic, there are, you can say there you are getting hurdles in between, obstacles in between. So you will keep changing your speed. So that means you will say you are moving in a non-uniform motion. But now we will define the definitions of uniform and non-uniform motion in another way. So you will say that if you have, if you say any object is moving, like for an example, you have started your journey at 10 o'clock, right? Then you have noticed 10 to 10:30 with this, you can say within this half an hour, say you have covered 2 kilometers, fine. Then, okay, you will keep moving and then you will check the distance covered between 10:30 to 11. Again, it is 2 kilometers. Again, you are checking 11 to 11:30. It's coming to 11:30 to 12. Again, it is coming to. So what do you have concluded? Speed remains same. Why speed remains same? Because you have covered equal distances, that is 2 kilometers in each half an hour. So equal distances in equal intervals of time. That is what means distance and time both are increasing in the same way, in same manner. So that will means that the speed is same. And the graph when you draw between distance and time, that will give you a straight line, as you do in maths also. On the other hand, non-uniform motion, in this motion what happened? Let's see an example. Now change the situation. Again, you have started your journey at 10 o'clock. You have checked time till 10:30. Say you have covered 2 kilometers. From 10:30 to 11 o'clock, because of some reason, you have stopped in between. So you were able to cover only 1 kilometer. The time is same, distance is now different. Now 11 to 11:30, you thought I have to cover more distance. So you were just riding your vehicle, you can say, fast now. So what will happen? Now you have covered say 3 kilometers. And then again, in last half an hour, say you have covered 5 kilometers. So now what you're observing here, in equal intervals of time, in half an hour time, you are seeing in each half an hour time, you are changing the distance covered. Initially it was 2, then it will become 1, then it was 3, then it was 5. So you are changing. Your distance covered was not same as we have seen in case of uniform motion. So because of that, you will say in equal intervals time, we have covered unequal distances. So this is what the definition of non-uniform motion. And when you draw the graph for this information, obviously that will not give straight line because both are not changing in the same manner. So it will give you a curved line. So this is how you can define uniform and non-uniform motion. Now this is what interesting topic, that is scalar and vector quantity. Now as we have done distance and displacement, now we will relate distance and displacement term to define scalar and vector quantity. So what we have said, when we move, like suppose if I Okay, I'm making here a straight line, right? This is say A and this is say B. They said that if we are moving from A to B, say this is 5 meter, right? So when you're moving A to B, the distance is 5 meter and displacement is also 5 meter. But when we are moving from A to B and coming back to A, then distance is 10 meter, but displacement will be 0. Why it is happening 0 in this case? Why we are finding displacement is 0 but not distance? Because distance is a scalar quantity. Distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is a vector quantity. So what do you mean by scalar quantity? Scalar quantity is the quantity which only depends on magnitude. It doesn't depend on direction. उसको नहीं फर्क पड़ता वो लेफ्ट राइट ऊपर नीचे कहाँ जा रहा है, बस उसने एक्चुअल कितना पाथ कवर किया, दैट इज व्हाट the scalar quantity tells us. But the vector quantity tells us about magnitude also, how much it has been covered, but in which direction it has been covered. If it is going, say, towards right, generally we take as positive sign. So if you're saying that if it is moving from A to B, we are taking +5. So when it is returning back, going in opposite direction, so what will happen? It is 5 meter, but because of the change in direction, it turns around and going along this, you can say same, you can say way in opposite direction. So that's when a +5 will become -5. So +5 -5, it becomes 0. So displacement is 0 in that case. Again, I'm repeating, if you say that when you were moving from A to B, so let's suppose you have taken +5 because it is moving towards right. Generally we take, when we move towards right, generally we take it as positive, right? In Cartesian, when you do plus minus, same way. But when it is changing direction, it is moving in opposite direction. Yeah, that has covered 5 meter, but in this direction, opposite direction. So +5 will become -5 because of the opposite direction. So when you add the two number, that will give you 0. So here plus minus shows here what? That is direction. So the quantity which depends not only on magnitude but also on direction, that quantity is called vector quantity. As we'll move further, we will relate more terms. We will categorize more terms as scalar and vector quantities. So, thank you so much. I hope your doubts are clear now. Now, this is again thinking zone. Now, these are the questions based on distance displacement, your scalar vector, and what do you mean by what do you measure by odometer? So let's take a quickly. We'll just quickly solve them. First question, calculate distance and displacement when a boy moves along a boundary of a circle of 7 meters. So now in this question, first of all, what you have to do, you have to make a circle. What is the radius? That is 7 meter radius. You have to find the distance and displacement when a boy is moving along the boundary. So suppose the boy has started from this point, so this is A point, and again taken the whole path, and again it is reaching the same point only. So what is the distance covered? The boy has moved along the circumference of the circle. So how will you find the distance? That is the circumference. What is the circumference? That is 2 pi r. And here what you can do? Pi value, you know that is 22 by 7. The radius is 7 meter. Now you have to put here the values. The value will come how? That is 2 into 22 by 7. 22 by 7 into the radius is also 7. So here the distance covered along the circular path, that is 44 meters. Now let's find the displacement. What is displacement? Displacement, again it is 0. Why 0? Because he has started from A point. And again, he has reached at point A only. There is a no, you can say there is a no gap, there is a no shortest distance, that is 0. So because he reaches the same point, that's why the displacement in this case is, that is 0 meter. Easy? Good. Let's some example of scalar and vector quantity. So scalar quantity, like we can say time. Time is also a scalar quantity because the time doesn't change. Like suppose if you're saying that you are going from home to school, say you take say 4 hours for that, and then when you come back from school in the evening, the time doesn't go in reverse order. It moves, it keeps going in a same way, right? The time is also scalar because it doesn't depend on direction. It just depends on the number, on the magnitude. Vector quantity, say displacement is an example. Force is also an example. Acceleration is an example. Velocity is an example. So these different terms we will learn. We will talk about these terms in upcoming videos for the same chapter, which I will bring very soon. I promise for that. So what would you measure by using odometer? Odometer we find in vehicles. In vehicles, we have odometer that tells us what? How much distance have been covered by the vehicle. You must have seen. If not, today only you will just go and you will check it. Just take help from your parents and they will definitely going to tell you. That is what the odometer that gives you what? That gives you distance travel. If you're going from your home to school, say it is 7 kilometers away, and then you're coming back from school to home. So what is the reading in the, you can say in odometer 7, and the 7 plus again when you're coming back. So it becomes 14 kilometer reading. It will not be 0. Which the odometer tells you distance, not displacement, right? Because of that reason. So I hope now you people are quite aware, quite confident in this topic. So thank you so much for watching this video. Keep watching, keep learning. We'll see you soon. We'll bring you another video for the same chapter, motion, for better understanding. Till the time, stay home, stay safe, and we'll see you soon. And don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with others. So take care, friends.